It's called a workshop meeting for December 19th, 2023 at 5:01 p.m. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Stoyan.
Here.
Councilmember Vato.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyan. Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember D'Amico.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, communication from the mayor? Okay, we got discussion on communications from the public. Number one.
Number one, request from Dunkirk City School District requesting police coverage for the 2023-2024 varsity basketball season games on Friday, January 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the girls JV and varsity game versus Oregon, and Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the boys JV and varsity game also versus Oregon. Arrival time will be at the discretion of the Dunkirk Police Department.
Okay.
We got it covered.
All right, thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right, number two.
Notice the claim from Clarence Corbett of 511 Brigham Road for damages done to his basement allegedly due to a flood city-owned sewer in front of his home.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, we'll move on. All right, summaries of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Lescovia. Okay, Councilman Bomano.
Randy, I got this list. I'm just kidding.
Councilman Stoyle.
I got the same list.
Councilwoman Nichols.
You don't want to see my list.
All right. No, we don't. All right, unfinished business. I don't believe we have any. All right, let's go to pre-filed resolution, number 77.
Number 77, 2023, standard workday and reporting resolution for elected and appointed officials.
Any discussion, council?
Somebody explain it to me.
Yeah,
Michael?
it's actually, I wanted to put a cover resolution on it to, because it just isn't in the normal format.
Right.
And so the state actually treats that as the resolution, but I figured with a cover on it, it just fits format-wise better for the council. But this has to be done every year. The numbers come from the controller's office, and we're obligated then to post it and certify that it's been posted, and it's part of the retirement system record keeping that's necessary.
Oh, okay.
Because I just recently retired from the New York State local retirement system, I happen to know that the money I make now as a council member is just extra money and it won't go into the
Correct.
consideration for retirement. But I still, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why that's listed there.
Okay.
You know, so that, you know, somehow there's a formula that's used and, you know, that's applied to come up with the numbers there. But yeah, it has no basis whatsoever. Same thing with the mayor, I believe, is that, you know, it's recorded, but he can't be part of the system. I actually opted out, you know, so I think that's different. And then we've got other elected officials, that being Mark and Erica, so the assessor and treasurer.
Okay, thank you. Okay, new business, we got a walk-in.
Walk-in resolution number 78, 2023, closeout of street light conversion project.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, maybe Randy could explain this during the regular meeting instead of here.
I'll probably defer to the city attorney who's been working on this.
Okay, we'll do that at the regular meeting.
Michael, could, during the regular meeting, the street light closeout.
Okay. Would it
Explain
be,
that during the regular meeting.
okay. Would it be helpful to talk about it now also, though?
Sure.
So that, you know, I mean, because
At
if
the
you...
time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, okay, so here's the situation. So back in 2022, you all passed a resolution well, actually, let's start sooner. So what you had was you had the conversion from the national grid lighting to LED lighting. And essentially, National Grid was providing the lights, they're providing the poles, they're providing the power. And I think that's the three pieces of the stool, Randy, right? And so what we do is we convert it over to LED lighting. And of course, that was a big deal for National Grid because essentially, you know, they've had a monopoly on street lighting, you know, throughout their franchise district for however many years. So when you move to essentially independent lighting, became an issue for them because they were losing revenues. And of course the city had the opportunity then to save money because the LED lighting is less expensive, essentially uses much less power. So what happens though is that National Grid says, well, you're still using our poles and you're still using our power. And so we want to ensure that these are safe lights, both for our folks working on the power element and anything that the city might do with respect to that lighting, or a contractor might do with respect to that lighting. So they required that we put these disconnects in, okay? Now, I've heard that, you know, and in any event, I've heard that not every community has these disconnects. However, the city has these disconnects. National Grid required them, and that came at an additional expense to the city. And so,
What is the disconnect? Is that to update the fuse?
okay, I'm going to defer to Randy relative to what the disconnect purpose is.
Sure. If you're going to work on the back of your television, you want to unplug it first. Same thing with an LED light. This allows anything inside the LED light, and our two master electricians know a lot more about how they work than I do. We got one downstairs. There's a lot more inside than just a bulb. So if you have to disconnect it to work inside that thing, you wouldn't want it to be de-energized. So this would allow them to be de-energized. Lots of electricians work on them without them being de-energized, but also if Grid's working on their wires, they want it de-energized. So it's pretty much a switch. It's also a fuse switch. If there's a surge in power, it will blow the fuse.
So in any event, so we have to put these disconnects in, and that's where your resolution came in. Because we had a proposal for putting the disconnects in 1,513 lamps, essentially, or locations, and at a cost of, I think, $163 per location. So your resolution actually didn't have a total on it, but it had 1531 at 168 or 163. I apologize. It's
163.
163, and that comes out to $249,300 or something. I know, Randy, I know. So I mean, I'm ballparking it, but I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, and so what ends up happening is, you know, we go forward with this whole process, and as we go through this process, we discover that there's a number of additional things that have to take place, and there's some additional equipment, material, I'm not going to say equipment, material that's needed in order to, not just these connections, but kind of associated with the lighting, you know, that needed to happen, some probably improvements and so on. Not necessarily totally associated, but close enough. And it was all done by a contractor. I think it was Ferguson that did most of the work,
Yes.
Randy? So Ferguson Electrical did most of the work, and as it turns out, you know, we had an additional expense of, and that one I want to look at, I think it's $113,000.
Yes.
And we had 2 routes to go. Randy had CHIPS money that was available that could be specifically used for this project, and it would allow us to complete the work. And then that was $95,000, and then the difference had to come out of the lighting fund. And so we were looking to close this out because we've got I believe it's a $2 million performance bond that we had to enter into with National Grid, saying, look, we're gonna make this all work, and you know, you get to inspect it and ensure that all the work's done, and if we don't perform all that work, we've got a performance bond that you can claim against. And so we worked through August. National Grid had a third-party inspection team from Gallagher. Well, I apologize, it was a USIC company that National Grid brought in. They were doing our inspections and so on. And in August, they finished the inspection verbally, told Ferguson and the DPW, and was there a National Grid representative there, Randy? Not a National Grid rep. Said, look, you're good to go, and we should be able to close out the bond. Well, as it turns out, here we are, close to the end of the year, and National Grid is saying, well, you know, we're not totally ready to provide you with the necessary letter, you know, and we want something further from our third-party inspector, and that's where we are. But this resolution essentially says, look, in August, we were informed that this is where we are, that we performed, we were given the okay, and so, you know, this closes out our responsibilities. Don't believe there's going to be any additional expense associated, and we want to close it out. We want to essentially say, look, you know.
Have we put all of the disconnects and all of the lights?
Yep, we've done everything that's required, and you know, we have the verbal, and now we want the writing. But
so these disconnects kind of change and lower the fuse operations, so we shouldn't have blown through the fuses anymore going forward?
I'll let Randy talk about that.
The disconnects and the fuse are 2 different parts. And what we learned after we put the disconnects in is that we've blown a few fuses for whatever reasons. We have a licensed professional electrical engineer who thinks that there is when they turn on for a millisecond, there is a surge that would close the fuse. And that he recommends changing out the fuses to a slower reacting fuse rather than the fast acting fuse. So we're in the process of doing that.
I don't want to disrupt the city workflow, and I know we're making $300,000 extra a year from it, but I do question the LED company. That's what they do. They didn't foresee that we didn't have correct fuses.
I was just telling you technically how the things work. You're asking me to give an opinion about what's right or what's
Which
wrong.
I know, that's not your,
And I don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm on that. So as long as you understand the technical
Okay.
fuses and things like that, that's as far as I can go. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
So by this resolution, are we going to get any kind of confirmation from before the end of the year from National Grid that we've done anything?
That's what we are working on.
Okay. That was just, I mean, if we have to have a special meeting before that because they say we need to do something more, just so that it's closed out before the 31st of December.
Yeah, yes. I do want to talk to our insurance carrier too, though. I mean, because, you know, I think we've got to weigh everything.
Right.
And, you know, there might, here's what I'm thinking. If what happened in August, is really what happened. I mean, in terms of the third-party inspector
Right.
who said, you're good to go, okay? And I've got to assume that it did. I mean, I've got Ferguson there, I've got the DPW there, I've got 3 people from the DPW, I've got one being our master electrician, correct?
Right.
I've got 2 people from Ferguson Electric, excuse me. And I've got this field representative from the inspectors, from the inspection company. I mean,
It's just a little
I'm
upsetting
concerned that
third
National
person-
Grid, yeah, I'm concerned that, you know, I don't really understand why we're not getting the paperwork that we need to close this out.
Right.
It is concerning. And I would hope that everyone's playing fair on this. And if they are, then the email that went out today to the third-party inspection company, which essentially said, look, this is our position. In August, you know, this was signed off on, that this was acceptable. And I had these people there. And consequently, you know, it's our position that, you know, all the work was done as required, and that I'm copying National Grid on this, and National Grid should provide us with the documentation that we need to close out our performance bond. So that was at 2:30 today, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get the response that is due the city. And if not, then then I've got to look at the performance bond issue with the insurer. I've got to work with the DPW. But I'm hopeful that this will get put to bed. I would hope that there wouldn't be need for a special meeting, and that if we've got to, if for some reason we've got to do something relative to any kind of additional work, that it'll get picked up relative to our performance bond, that National Grid does the work. In any event, there's several moving pieces.
It's a
But
little upsetting, though, that National Grid didn't notify the third-party inspector that they would have to give them written documentation that everything was completed so that they could move forward on it.
well, frankly, the third-party inspector didn't notify National Grid that in August that everything is done to completion, and therefore you can release the city.
A lot happens with just verbal or written, so. it's-
Yes. No, agreed.
Emails are valid in New York State.
What's that?
Emails are valid in New York State, in case you need to know that. You probably know that.
I'll try to get an email from the third-party inspector in August.
I mean, it's like a,
No, I understand.
Okay.
it's like court.
All right, if there's no other questions on that. Hearing that, may I have a motion to adjourn? A motion by Nichols, can I have a second by Romano?
Councilman Stoyan,
Aye.
Councilman Vermonto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Jimmy.
Aye.
So do you want all that at the council meeting?
That's fine. Yeah, get it in here or out there.
This is where the extra.
You want me to?
Let's call to order the regular meeting, December 19th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoiak.
Here.
Councilmember Vermonto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Jimmy.
Here. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, certification of the prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023 was presented to the mayor on Thursday, December 14th, 2023. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items are presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and seal the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 19th day of December, 2023.
Council, can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented?
So moved.
Got Nichols? Can I get a second by Stoyl?
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoll.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
That's carried. First privilege of the floor. Anyone like to speak? See no one? Once? Twice? Last call. First privilege of the floor is closed. Communication from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to congratulate the mayor-elect. I have directed our DPW to begin the process of transition, beginning with removing my nameplate from the mayor's offices. So you'll be seeing the new mayor-elect's name on these doors probably by the end of this week. And I wish the incoming administration the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, communication from the public and petitions, number one.
Number one, request from the Dunkirk City School District requesting police coverage for the 2023-2024 varsity basketball season games on Friday, January 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the girls' JV and varsity game versus Fredonia, and Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the boys' JV and varsity game also versus Fredonia. Arrival time will be at the discretion of the Dunkirk Police Department.
Any discussion, council?
It's all taken care of.
Okay. Can I have a motion to refer to the PBA and the police chief? I got a motion by Leskoviak and a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoll.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Carried. Number two.
Number two, notice a claim from Clarence Corbett of 511 Brigham Road for damages done to his basement allegedly due to a plugged city-owned sewer in front of his home.
Any discussion, council? There are none. Can I have a motion to refer to the law department and also public works?
So moved.
A motion by Nichols, seconded by Leskoviak.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoll.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Leskoviak.
Yeah, I wanted to use this opportunity to thank our DPW Director, Randy Woodbury, for his presence at the Village of Fredonia Water public hearing last night. He was on hand to address inquiries concerning Lake Erie water. The city of Dunkirk is fortunate to have this resource. We are blessed. Thank you, Mayor Rosas, for realizing this resource and finding funds to invest millions in our water plant in order we can generate revenue. I also want to say thank you to Dave D'Amico and Marty Bamanto. It was a pleasure working with you these past 2 years. Marty, you were a great help, and Dave, I know this team did a lot. I look forward to working with Kate Doviaz, our new mayor, and the two new council team members, Nick and Abby. Dunkirk has so much good to look forward to these next 2 years. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a wonderful new year.
Councilman Bamanto.
Yes, I too would like to wish the best of luck to the new administration coming in, the new mayor, and everybody have a happy and safe holiday season.
Councilman Stoyl.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a smooth changeover. I've met with the new councilman at large. It was a pleasure meeting him. I didn't know he was going to buy breakfast. I wouldn't have ate at home. So I'm looking forward to a smooth transition and moving this city forward. That's all I got.
Councilwoman.
Here comes Nancy.
Councilwoman Nichols.
Our new winter hours for our city barns on Lucas Avenue are 9 to 2 on Saturdays, no longer till 5. I don't know if Randy can give us an update, or maybe Michael can give us an update on the street light outages that we've been having and how we're progressing on getting them relit.
Sure. Both city master electricians and deputy director have been in touch with Phil Binkowitz of Beck Electric and have transferred the locations and the materials to them, and they'll be moving quickly. We're lucky that, to have Beck available to do that quickly.
Thank you. Mayor, I did get a letter in the mail on this solar energy, and is this a valid company that we're going at? And there's a second part of that, that I feel our residents, instead of getting a letter in the mail without hearing with your signature on it and Mayor-elect's signature on it, that we should have been noted. I mean, I didn't know it as a council member. I don't believe Mr. Stoyles or Natalie or Marty did, and I don't know if Dave knew about it beforehand either, but we should have probably had, so you could make a public announcement at a council meeting that letters would be going out, and your opinions on the matter with the solar energy. If you could address that, please. Mayor.
Certainly. So solar, community solar is not new. It is happening all over, and New York State is a very big supporter of community solar. And the company is not a company that, the only company that offers community solar. As far as having a resolution or anything like that, it didn't require a resolution. Nobody's telling people that that's the only company that they can use for community solar. We're simply providing information, letting them know that community solar is available and people can save 10% on their electric bills. It actually costs nothing to get involved, and we are providing information for our residents to become involved in community solar and save money. There was no offense meant to the council. It was more for the general public, our city residents, to know that community solar is out there and they can save 10% on their electric bills.
I was just very surprised that with it coming from you as the mayor, that you should have even let us know ahead of time instead of us opening up an envelope that's coming from the city of Dunkirk and saying that that you are all in favor of it. And when we get phone calls from, as council, from residents asking us to explain things, and I know I had 17 of them yesterday. I had no clue what it was, and of course I hadn't gotten my mail yet, so I didn't get the letter, so I didn't know what they were talking about.
Well, Councilwoman, I would say that, you know, the information that we put out provides for all of this information to be obtained by anyone. So if you did receive a letter, then I would look into it if I were you. If you plan on being a council member and representing the city, that's is probably something you should look into. But the information as far as the phone number or email or the online information has been provided within that letter. So I do not offer any apologies. In fact, I think that this is a good program for our city and for all of the community, not just city residents.
No, I did get the letter, but I had not gotten the letter prior to the phone calls I was receiving, so I didn't know that there was a number that they could call City Hall and speak with, or an email or whatever. Before, when they called me, I didn't know there was that information in the letter. I did receive one, but I didn't know what to tell them. I said, just read the letter again, or read it to me, and then I said, then refer it to City Hall.
Okay, in that case.
Clarify it, just to clarify the matter.
Okay.
Councilman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I suggest you bring this up again at your next council meeting.
I like your thinking, boy.
Okay.
Councilwoman, are you done?
Ryan and I took the new unwrapped toys to Rural Ministries last Friday, and they were very excited and thrilled to get them. Although Ryan did come up with the thought we'd have to start a little bit earlier to supply the amount of the children that were signed up. We're going to probably have to start in July doing some collecting of new toys for them. I just want to say it's been a pleasure. It's been a nice sleigh ride working with Mr. D'Amico and Mr. Bamanto, and a very challenging 4 years with Mayor Rosas. But I said it has been, and I do look forward to working with the new administration. I did also meet with Nick Weiser yesterday, and
Yeah, you got breakfast.
no, I had 2 pieces of toast and a coffee. Yes, but we had a very nice conversation, and we made a lot of headway, and I think we are going to work all very nicely in the coming 2 years. Wishing all our city residents Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
You done? Okay.
I'm
All right,
done,
thank
Dave.
you. I want to take this time, obviously, to wish everyone in town a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To the next mayor coming in and your administration and staff, I certainly wish the best for you guys. The current mayor, enjoy retirement. To the department heads, you guys really helped me out a lot the last couple of years, and of course the council. I enjoyed my time with all 4 of you. Always tried to keep you informed and give you what I always told you. If I could tell you, I would always try to keep you informed of what was going on. So thank you for the last 2 years, and hopefully we see some good things coming down the road. Okay, with that, unfinished business, we have none. Pre-filed resolution 77.
Resolution 77, standard workday and reporting resolution for elected and appointed officials.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Okay, new business, we got a walk-in. The walk-in resolution number 78, 2023. Can I get a motion to bring it off the floor? I got a motion by Nichols. Can I have a second by Stoyl?
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, it's off the floor. Okay, clerk, you want to just read the walk-in resolution, please? Just the top portion.
Walk-in resolution 78, close out of streetlight conversion project.
Okay, any discussion, council? Want to add anything, Michael or Randy from workshop, if everybody's good?
I think we're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, hearing none, I'm going to need a motion to approve. I got a motion by Stoyl, and I got a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Okay, second privilege of the floor is now open. Going once? Twice? Yes, sir.
I'll make it quick.
Come on up.
I just want to, I guess, congratulate the mayor on his retirement. And I've just been here for 8 years. He's the one that brought me on. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Once? Twice?
3 times a lady.
Last call?
I was going to say that too.
Second privilege is now closed. Can I have a motion for adjournment? I got a motion by Nichols and a second by
God damn, I
Stoyl.
can't even get the last one.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large.
Aye, we're adjourned.
For the rest of this year.
Oh, rest of this year, okay.
Hang on a second, hang on.